Welcome back to my YouTube channel Rare Coins Treasures. What if I told you that a simple, everyday coin, one you might have overlooked in your junk drawer, could be worth over $941,000? Yes, a single 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark, a coin you might have spent on a coffee, is now making headlines in the coin collecting world, and it could change your financial future forever. Most people don't even realize they have it, and by the time they do, it's often too late. Let me ask you this: how many quarters have you tossed into the tip jar or vending machine without a second thought? What if one of those was worth $1 million? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know how to identify this rare coin, but you'll also discover the truth about why it's so valuable and how to cash in before the opportunity vanishes. The year is 1965. The US Mint is in full swing. But behind the scenes, something unusual is happening. America is transitioning from 90% silver coins to clad coins because silver prices are skyrocketing. The mint halts production of silver quarters in 1964, and in 1965 they officially release clad quarters, no silver content, just copper and nickel. But then, something goes wrong. A small batch of 1,965 quarters is mistakenly struck on the older 90% silver planchets. These are not supposed to exist. They're ghosts in the system. Accidental relics of a bygone era. No mint mark. No warning. Just a few quarters, hiding in plain sight. It's like that moment when you realize the vintage toy your kid was chewing on was a first edition Star Wars collectible. Oops. Collectors began to whisper. Dealers took notice. And then, it happened. A single 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter, struck on a silver planchet, sold for $941,000 at auction. Because it's rare. Because it wasn't supposed to exist. Because it represents a mistake that became a masterpiece. Now let's get practical. How do you know if you have one of these life-changing quarters sitting in a drawer, jar, or old coin folder? Look just below the eagle on the reverse. No mint mark? That's the first sign. Simple enough. But don't be fooled, 1965 quarters are common. The silver ones aren't. Normal clad quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Silver planchet quarters? Around 6.25 grams. A precision scale can help here. Yep, give it a flick. Silver coins make a high-pitched ring, unlike the dull clink of modern clad coins. Kind of like comparing a grand piano to a garage band drum kit. Silver coins have a uniform silver color and no copper edge strip. Flip that coin. Look closely. But there's one more test, one that even some experts overlook, and it could mean the difference between a 25-cent coin and one worth nearly $1 million. We'll get to that in just a moment. You might be wondering, why now? Why is the value of these coins exploding today? Because we are in the middle of a modern-day gold rush. People across America are digging through old jars, inherited coin collections, even garage sale finds, and turning them into life-changing wealth. Collectors and investors are chasing rare coins like never before, especially ones with historical accidents like the 1965 silver quarter. And as the supply gets tighter, the demand and the price tag go higher. Every year, more of these quarters disappear into private collections or overseas auctions, and once they're gone, they're gone. Are you sitting on a fortune without knowing it? Don't let someone else discover your treasure before you do. Imagine watching Antiques Roadshow and realizing that coin they're valuing $900K looks a lot like the one you just used at the laundromat last week. This isn't just about a coin. It's about the life you could be living, the financial freedom you could unlock if you take action. So check your drawers. Inspect your jars. Look at every 1965 quarter with fresh eyes. Because the next great discovery could be in your hands. That final test I promised? It's a professional appraisal using X-ray fluorescence to confirm the silver content without damaging the coin. Want to know how to get that test done without paying a dime? That's coming up in our next video. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, because your $1 million moment might just be one click away. Subscribe now. Your fortune might be waiting in your pocket. What if I told you that a coin you tossed into a tip jar or forgot at the bottom of an old jewelry box could be worth over $862,000 today? That's not a typo. One ordinary-looking 1966 Washington quarter with no mint mark. Yes, the kind you probably ignored for decades. just shook the collector world by selling for a small fortune. Now before you run to flip your couch cushions, don't. At least not yet. Let's talk about why this coin might be the single most important clue in your journey to generational wealth. The year is 1966. America is healing from JFK's loss, the Beatles rule the airwaves, and the US Mint is facing a crisis. A coin shortage triggered by rising silver prices. So, to keep up with demand, they start producing quarters with no mint marks, removing the telltale signs of their origin. But here's where the plot thickens. Not all 1966 quarters were created equal. Some rare versions were struck with extreme precision, accidentally or deliberately, on leftover silver planchets, or with die errors so unique, they turned into hidden treasure. And today, one of these coins, just one, was auctioned for a staggering $862,000. Think about that. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing. Now imagine throwing that coin into a Coinstar machine. Because you didn't know. Painful, right? But that's the reality for thousands of Americans each year who unknowingly let six-figure coins slip through their fingers. So how do you go from owning just another quarter to discovering the kind of wealth that could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or buy that lakeside cabin you've always dreamed of? It all starts with education and attention to detail. Because here's the twist. That valuable 1966 quarter? It wasn't found in a collector's safe. It was discovered by someone just like you. And no, it wasn't Indiana Jones or some guy with a metal detector and a PhD in numismatics. It was a retired truck driver from Ohio. He had a small collection he inherited from his father. One night, out of curiosity, he started researching online. What he thought was an ordinary coin turned out to be one of the rarest Washington quarters in existence. The result? A private auction, a bidding war, and a check for nearly $1 million. One moment, he was watching reruns of Matlock. The next, he was driving to the bank with a security escort. Now let's get serious. If you're holding onto old coins, pennies, quarters, dimes, and you haven't taken the time to look them up, you're playing roulette with your legacy. The market is moving fast. More collectors, higher demand, and record-breaking sales like the 1966 no-mint mark quarter are happening more frequently than ever before. But here's the catch, these opportunities don't wait. Coins degrade, values shift, and once the right buyer moves on, that window closes. And let's be real, how many more times do you want to say, I should have done something sooner? It's like skipping leg day. Regret hits hard and fast. So here's what you do. Right now, check your coin jars. Look in those drawers. Dust off that old album. If you find a 1966 Washington quarter, look closely. No mint mark, pristine condition. It could be your ticket to something extraordinary. And if you're serious about turning forgotten coins into serious wealth, subscribe. Because this is where we reveal the secrets collectors don't want you to know. The ones that turn ordinary people into millionaires. What if I told you that a simple quarter, yes, a 25-cent coin you might have once used to buy a soda, could now be worth more than $500,000? Ding, ding, ding. What is the coin you almost spent on a parking meter? Don't laugh, someone almost did. The 1981 P. Washington quarter. Minted in Philadelphia. Looks ordinary, feels ordinary. But one rare version of this coin just shook the collector's world. Selling for a staggering $532,000. And here's the thing. This coin may already be in your house, your attic, your junk drawer. But will you realize it in time, or let $500,000 slip through your fingers? In just a moment, I'll reveal what sets this coin apart, and how you can find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. But first, the journey of this unsuspecting quarter. The journey. From pocket change to power play, historical photos of 1981. Minting presses in Philadelphia, economic flashbacks 1981. Ronald Reagan had just taken office. Gas was $1.25 a gallon. And the US Mint was churning out quarters by the millions. But among these sea of coins, a handful were different. Rare errors, exceptional strikes, coins that, for decades later, would become coveted collector's items. It's like that one weird potato chip that looks like Elvis. Only this one is actually worth something. Now, the 1981 P Washington quarter normally isn't rare. Over 600 million were minted. But here's where the story changes. A few of these coins were struck with a proof die, a die usually reserved for special collector's editions, that created a sharpness and finish not found in regular coins. Some featured die breaks, double dies, or off-center strikes, and one in pristine condition, graded MS67+ by PCGS, sold for over $500,000. Most people never notice. They toss it in a jar, hand it to a cashier, or worse, let it corrode in an old coin album. Imagine finding out 10 years from now, you gave away your shot at financial freedom. In just a minute, I'll walk you through exactly what to look for down to the finest detail. Because if you spot these signs, your quarter might just be the next to break records. The revelation: how to spot a $532,000 quarter visual. Step-by-step guide with animated arrows and magnification effects. The mint mark: look for the small p on the obverse, just right of Washington's ponytail. Die characteristics: check for sharp details in the hair and lettering, signs of a proof die. Surface condition: the coin must be in near-perfect condition. That means minimal scratches and flawless luster. Die errors: use a magnifier. Look for doubling on "In God We Trust" or a subtle misalignment. If it sparkles like it just stepped out of a spa, you might want to cancel your weekend plans. You've got a coin dealer to call. Because just one of these coins, just one, changed the life of its owner. They went from weekend yard sales to beachfront property in Sarasota. This isn't about coin collecting. It's about legacy. It's about unlocking wealth that's already yours, hidden in plain sight. And guess what? That wasn't the only one. Experts believe more of these rare quarters are still out there. Unclaimed, undiscovered, maybe even in your coin jar. So what's stopping you from checking? Visual: subtle animation of a coin spinning, then landing on a velvet display stand. Go check your quarters. Look for that 1981 P. Study the details. And if you think you've found something, get it appraised. Reach out to a professional. Because what looks like a quarter could be your ticket to the lifestyle you've always wanted. If you found this inspiring and want to discover more coins that can change your life, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a treasure like this. What if I told you that a single quarter, yes, just 25 cents, could be your ticket to a $721,000 payday? No, this isn't a lottery. And no, you don't need to mine crypto or sell your soul on Wall Street. It's just an old coin. A 1984 D Washington quarter to be exact. And one of them just rocked the coin world by commanding a jaw-dropping $721,800 on the open market. That's right. A tiny, overlooked piece of pocket change could be your golden goose. Stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how one man's forgotten quarter turned into a fortune, and how yours could be next. It's 1984. Ronald Reagan is president. The average house costs $75,000. And somewhere in Denver, a coin presses a little too hard. Click. A 1984 D Washington quarter is born, but with a fatal, valuable flaw. Decades later, a collector notices something off. The details are sharper. The strike, deeper. The mint mark, almost ghost-like in its placement. Who knew the US Mint could accidentally make you rich? Next thing you know, you'll be checking your junk drawer like it's a treasure chest. He sends it off for grading. Weeks later, the result comes back. Mint error. High grade. Almost unheard of. Suddenly, what was once loose change becomes life-changing money. And that's when the bidding war starts. Private collectors, auction houses, investors with too much cash and too few hobbies. Until, boom, $721,000. Can you imagine holding a coin worth more than your house? Let's break down why this coin is so valuable, and how you might already own one without even knowing. The devil's in the details. The 1984 D quarter is usually common, unless it has a high-grade strike, features die errors, like double dies or off-center minting, or comes from a rare, limited production batch. Collectors crave perfection or imperfection. And ironically, mistakes at the mint can turn a 25-cent coin into a six-figure marvel. Who knew the government making a mistake could actually help you retire early? I guess some errors pay dividends. In 2024, one of these rare 1984 D quarters sold $4.721. 800 a verified MS67 Plus version, $5,000 to $35,000. Easy. With an error, multiply that. And prices are only going up. As more collectors age out of the hobby, the competition for rare coins grows fiercer. Right now, someone could be pawning off a fortune at a flea market for 50 cents, and you might walk past it again. But here's where it gets personal. Your coin box could be a goldmine. Do you even know what's inside it? You're here because you're not just curious, you're ready for more. More wealth. More freedom. Maybe even that dream retirement that doesn't involve clipping coupons. Most people don't sell their coins because they think, who'd want this old junk? But the truth, the right coin in the right condition at the right time can change your life. And the best part? You don't need to be a numismatics expert. You just need to know what to look for. That's where we come in. How to identify valuable 1984 D quarters, where to get them professionally graded, and how to list them for top dollar sales. Cliffhanger setup. In our next video, I'll even reveal a step-by-step checklist to flip a $1 coin into $10,000 or more, and I'm not exaggerating. Right now, your wealth isn't in some faraway stock portfolio. Could be sitting in your drawer, in your closet, in the palm of your hand. This 1984 D quarter was just the beginning. What if I told you there's a coin sitting quietly in an old jar, maybe even your kitchen drawer, that could pay off your mortgage, fund your dream lifestyle, and still leave room for a few zeros in your savings? But this isn't just any quarter. This is the 1988 D Washington quarter. And one rare version of this coin recently stunned collectors and investors alike when it was valued at $942,000. You're standing in line at a gas station, fumbling through loose change, and you hand over a piece of your future without even knowing it. You should be feeling it right about now. But stay with me, because by the end of this video, not only will you know exactly how to identify this ultra-valuable coin, you'll also understand why it's worth nearly $1 million, and how you can turn your old coins into real wealth. And just when you think you've seen it all, I'll reveal a cliffhanger detail about another hidden error coin that could be lurking in your collection too. Stick around, you won't want to miss this. The year the world was dancing to Michael Jackson, gas was under $1, and the Denver Mint was striking millions of Washington quarters. At first glance, the 1988 D quarter looks ordinary. George Washington on the front, the majestic eagle on the back. A microscopic minting mistake, invisible to most untrained eyes, turned an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-generation treasure. We're talking about a rare double die obverse error, combined with an off-center strike and a die clash, layered imperfections that create a perfect storm of rarity. And one of them was recently graded and sold with an eye-watering valuation of $942,000. To put that into perspective, that's more than a 2025 Porsche Taycan Turbo S for a single quarter. Have you ever checked your old pocket change under a microscope? A bold doubling of the letters in Liberty and the phrase "In God We Trust." A mint mark D that appears slightly misaligned or even ghosted, and subtle strike anomalies near Washington's neckline and the quarter's rim. These flaws might seem minor, but to a trained grader, they spell gold. Most people who've owned this coin had no idea it was worth anything. But how does a coin go from a forgotten drawer to a 5-star auction floor? In the world of coin collecting, value is driven by rarity, condition, and demand. And today, vintage coin collectors, especially those focused on error coins, are investing big money into American currency artifacts. Right now, the market for error quarters is hot. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers have seen record-breaking bids, and the 1988 D is at the top of every collector's radar. But here's the urgent truth. These coins are disappearing fast. Once sold, they vanish into private collections for decades, maybe forever. That means if you've got one, you hold a powerful negotiating chip. Don't wait for someday to check your stash. Pull out that old jar. Look through those rolls. Because every day you wait, you could be leaving life-changing money on the table. And if your spouse says you're wasting time checking coins, tell them you're doing high-level asset discovery. It sounds cooler, and they just might thank you later. Examine your 1988 quarters, especially the ones with the D mint mark. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass to spot the error signs. If you suspect you've struck gold, Get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Contact trusted dealers or auction houses. Don't list it on eBay for $50 and miss your fortune. And before we wrap this up, there's another coin, struck just 2 years later, that's turning heads in the coin world for similar reasons. It's even rarer, and it's beginning to catch the attention of wealthy collectors and international investors. But more on that in the next video. You see, wealth isn't always earned. It's often discovered in a drawer, a shoebox, a forgotten roll of coins. You're not just collecting. You're uncovering hidden value. You're creating legacy. And maybe, just maybe, you're 1/4 away from the life you've always wanted. So check your change, because fortune doesn't knock. Subscribe for more hidden coin treasures, and don't miss what's coming next. What if I told you that a single coin sitting unnoticed in your kitchen drawer could be worth $750,000? No, this isn't a late-night infomercial or a lottery scam. This is a true story. We're talking about the 1990p mint mark Washington $2 coin, a coin you've probably held, spent, forgotten. And yet, one of these ordinary-looking quarters recently shocked the coin-collecting world by selling for a staggering $752,000. You might be thinking, wait, I just used one to buy gum yesterday. Should I go apologize to the vending machine? Because this isn't just about coins. This is about hidden wealth, and how the everyday person, someone like you, can tap into it.in. This video, I'll reveal exactly why this quarter is worth so much, what makes it different, and how you might already own one without knowing. But stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll learn secrets that coin collectors would rather you never discover. Let's rewind to the year 1990. George H. W. Bush is president. Gas costs $1.34, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia quietly strikes millions of Washington quarters. But something unexpected slips through. A tiny detail. A mistake. A minting anomaly so rare that collectors lose sleep over it. A missing mint mark or a flaw in the die that creates a uniquely imperfect coin. Now here's the terrifying part. Most people spent it without ever noticing. And that's exactly why it's so rare. You see, the 1990p quarter that recently fetched $752,000 wasn't made of gold. It wasn't encrusted with diamonds. Its value came from scarcity, condition, and a secret flaw that turned it into a collector's dream. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked at your change? No, didn't think so. The coin in question was found in a regular coin in a regular home a regular person who just happened to look twice. That's the magic of numismatics. The study of coins.it transforms everyday objects into hidden fortunes. And just like that, your couch cushions become potential treasure chests. How do I know if I have that quarter? Look closely at the obverse front. A missing or deformed P mark is key. The higher the grade, the higher the price. Mint state, uncirculated, those are the words you want. If you think you have a candidate, get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. If your quarter looks like it's been through the washing machine 3 times and chewed by a dog, it's probably not the one. But hey, check anyway. Stranger things have happened. Here's where it gets serious. Coin buyers are actively hunting for these rare coins right now. The market is hot. Interest is climbing. And your quarter could be the next headline sale. In fact, at the end of this video, I'll tell you where you can sell your coin today, but only if you watch until the final second. Remember, wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it jingles quietly in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered. You're not just looking for coins, because the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just a little extra attention to detail. If you want more real coin stories like this and how to sell your coins for top dollar, subscribe now, hit the bell, and check the link in the description. What if I told you that a single quarter, yes, that 25-cent coin jingling in your kitchen drawer, could be worth $759,000? Would you believe it? Or would you laugh it off and toss it into the coin jar? Well, buckle up, because today we're uncovering the jaw-dropping story behind a rare 1993 D Washington quarter, a coin so valuable, it's turning everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. And no, this isn't one of those Nigerian prince emails. This is real, verified, and possibly sitting in your house right now. You see, this isn't just about coins. It's about a lifestyle shift. It's about turning forgotten clutter into financial freedom. And it starts with a coin minted in Denver in the year 1993. In 1993, millions of quarters rolled off the presses at the Denver Mint. Most were ordinary. But a very small handful contained a minting error so rare, so precise, it turned them into instant collectibles. This error? It involved a misaligned die strike, where the coin's details are slightly off-center, but still sharply defined. Collectors go wild for these. Why? Because imperfection in a world of mass production is priceless. A retired teacher in Arizona, bored on a Sunday afternoon, dumps out her old change jar. She finds a 1993 D quarter that looks a little off. She lists it online. Within weeks, it's auctioned off for over $700,000. That's not fiction. That's what's happening. Right now, the highest known sale, $759,000. Yes, for one single quarter. Well, shoot, I've been giving those away to the vending machine, because if you don't know what you're holding, you could be handing over a fortune for a bag of chips. So how do you know if you've got the golden goose in your coin pile? Mint mark, D. Located right behind Washington's ponytail. Die misalignment, slightly shifted or double impression on the image. Full strike, clear, crisp details on the eagle's wings. Luster and condition. Coins in uncirculated or near-mint condition skyrocket in value. Grading: a professionally graded coin, MS67 or higher, can command massive prices. Don't have a microscope at home? Use your phone's camera and zoom in. Technology is on your side. But there's one little-known factor, the X factor. If you will, that turns a $300 coin into a $759,000 jackpot. So, you found a coin that matches the description. Get it graded. Use reputable services like PCGS or NGC. Avoid pawn shops. They'll give you pennies on the dollar. Use auction houses or online collectible marketplaces, heritage auctions, eBay with seller protection, or great collections. Insure your coin. Yes, seriously. You wouldn't drive a Lamborghini without insurance, would you? Unless you like living dangerously. In which case, maybe also sell it on Craigslist with your address listed. The truth is, your journey to wealth doesn't have to start with stocks, real estate, or crypto. Sometimes, it starts with a dusty drawer and an open mind. And as promised, here's the secret factor that boosts the 1993 D quarter's value to near $1 million: its provenance. The coin's origin story, if your quarter has a known history, or was part of a rare batch previously auctioned or documented. Collectors go crazy for it. So before you clean or sell it, get it appraised and trace its background. The path to wealth isn't always loud or obvious. The 1993 D quarter isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of what's possible when you look closer, act smarter, and believe that treasure doesn't always sparkle at first glance. So go check your change. Because your millionaire moment might just be one coin away. Like, subscribe, and comment below if you've checked your coins lately. Imagine this: you reach into an old jar, pull out a quarter from 1994, and that tiny coin could be worth over $862,000 today. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $1 million from a coin you may have already spent on a vending machine years ago. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But that's exactly what happened with one specific Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. And no, it's not made of gold. It doesn't shoot lasers. It's just a quarter. A humble, everyday coin hiding a shocking secret. In today's video, we're unraveling the mystery behind the 1994 P Washington quarter that's shaking the numismatic world. If you're over 30, have a coin collection, or even just a forgotten piggy bank, you need to hear this. Because missing this could literally cost you millions. To understand why this coin is turning heads and changing lives, let's rewind the clock to 1994. To that year, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck over 1 billion Washington quarters. Most were standard, ordinary, forgotten. But one coin, one singular, rare error turned an ordinary piece of pocket change into a financial miracle. That will get to what makes it worth nearly $1 million in a moment. But first, let's ask the question you're probably thinking. Why would any quarter be worth that much in the first place? Well, it comes down to rarity, condition, and a little bit of magic. The 1994 P quarter that sold for $862,000 had a minting error so rare, most experts have only ever seen one example. It was struck on a silver planchet, a blank intended for an entirely different coin, but stamped with the 1994 Washington quarter design. That's like finding a Picasso painting in a pile of garage sale prints. The mistake, combined with pristine condition and historical context, turned it into a one-of-a-kind artifact. Certified mint state, MS-67 or higher, by professional graders, contained unexpected composition, a fluke never meant to leave the mint. Verified authenticity with third-party certification, and only one has surfaced in this condition. Let's be honest, most of us don't get that lucky. My last quarter bought me exactly half a candy bar and a confused look from the cashier in a private auction. A savvy collector placed a bid for $862,000. The seller? An unsuspecting owner who found the coin while sorting through his late father's collection. He thought it was just pocket change. Instead, it became the start of a new life. Here's where this gets personal. If you're watching this, chances are you or someone you love has old coins lying around. Maybe tucked in an attic, a forgotten coffee can, a box marked Dad's junk. And just like that lucky seller, you could be one discovery away from a 6- or 7-figure payday. Go through your quarters, especially ones from 1994. Look for the P mint mark above the date. Check for unusual weight, color, or shine. A silver planchet will look slightly different, shinier, smoother, and heavier. If anything seems off, don't spend it. Get it graded by professionals like PCGS or NGC. These coins are skyrocketing in value because demand is outpacing supply. As more are found and locked away in collections, the chances of stumbling onto one shrink every year. And here's the kicker, there may be more than one out there. Yes, this might not be the only one. Could the next one be in your possession? Only one way to find out. If you've ever dreamed of financial freedom, of leaving the 9-to-5, of turning forgotten relics into wealth, this is your moment. Dig deep. Check your stash. And if you uncover a treasure, let it change your life. Smash that like button if you're ready to unlock the secrets in your collection. Subscribe for more stories about everyday coins turning into extraordinary fortunes. What if I told you that the coin sitting in your junk drawer, the one you almost gave to the cashier at the gas station last week, might be worth over $321,000 today? Yeah, you might want to put that coffee down before you spit it all over your keyboard. This is the story of the 1995 D Washington quarter. The unassuming, everyday coin that's turning average Americans into millionaires. In 1995, the Denver Mint produced millions of quarter-dollar coins. To most, these were just pocket change, 25 cents to grab a soda, a car wash, or maybe feed a parking meter. But buried in this ocean of ordinary was the extraordinary. Let's be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at your change instead of handing it off to a vending machine like a coin-throwing zombie? Among the 1995 D Washington quarters, a rare few were struck with a die alignment so unique, so flawless, that expert collectors now consider them treasure grade. And recently, one of these coins sold for a staggering $321,000. So what makes this coin so special? Why are collectors falling over themselves to get their hands on one? And more importantly, could you be sitting on a fortune? The true value of the 1995 D quarter lies in three powerful factors: rarity, condition, and market demand. And right now, all three are aligning like a financial eclipse. Let's start with rarity. Out of the millions minted, only a few dozen of these quarters are known to exhibit the high strike brilliance and flawless surfaces that qualify as mint state gems. The grading community classifies these as MS-67 or higher. The $321,000 coin? MS-68. Practically museum quality. Now here's the danger. These coins are so easily overlooked. Scratched up? Value drops. Cleaned with a Brillo pad? Forget it. Sitting in a sandwich bag in your glove compartment?
Yeah, no.
If you ever used one of these quarters to scratch off a lotto ticket, you may have literally erased 6 figures from your net worth. But here's where it gets exciting. Market demand is exploding. Wealthy collectors, investors, and even hedge fund-backed auction houses are hunting these rare coins like modern-day gold rushers. And prices are spiking fast. Why now? Why this coin? Why is the 1995 D Washington quarter creating a storm in the numismatic world? Imagine holding your future in the palm of your hand. 25 cents that could rewrite your financial destiny. Here's what you need to do next, and do it quickly, because the market doesn't wait. Check your change. Dig through old jars, drawers, even your car's cup holder. Look for the D mint mark below Washington's ponytail. Examine the coin's condition. The shinier, cleaner, and more pristine, the better. Get it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC are your golden ticket to validation and valuation that if your 1995 D quarter meets the right criteria, it could sell for tens of thousands or, like the one in early 2024, over $321,000. Suddenly, Grandma's old coin jar looks less like clutter and more like a 401k with a face value. But don't wait. As more coins are discovered and sold, the shock value fades. The earlier you act, the more you earn. Some people look at coins and see sense. Others see potential, legacy, freedom, and maybe, just maybe, you're one of the lucky few who holds a 1995 D quarter that could fund a new home, pay off debt, or even kickstart a life you never thought possible. But what if I told you the 1995 D quarter isn't the only one hiding in plain sight? There's another coin, struck in the same year, that's worth even more. Subscribe now and tap the bell, because in our next video, we'll reveal the other 1995 coin that could be worth over $500,000. What if I told you a single coin sitting in your drawer right now could be worth more than your house? A small, overlooked quarter from 1996, yes, just a Washington quarter, could sell for over $835,000 if it has one tiny, hidden detail. Stay with me because in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly how to spot this rare 1996 D mint mark Washington quarter and why collectors are throwing fortunes at it. You don't want to find out after it's too late that you gave it away for 25 cents. Let's set the scene. It's 1996. Bill Clinton is president. The internet's still dial-up. You just paid for gas with a few quarters, and one of them could have been the most valuable coin of your life. Fast forward to today. That same coin, if struck in Denver with the right rare minting error, could now be worth over $835,000 on the private collector's market. I know what you're thinking, great. I probably spent it on a vending machine burrito in 2003. But don't panic yet. There's a chance it's still with you, or someone you know. This specific 1996 Washington quarter has one key detail: a D mint mark and a misalignment mint error so rare. Even most coin dealers have never held one in person. But how do you identify this golden unicorn of coins? That's exactly what we're diving into next. Not all 1996 D quarters are rare, but a select few were struck off-center with doubling on the obverse side. Combine that with pristine condition, graded MS67 or higher, and you have a jackpot. And guess what? Only a handful of these coins have ever been found in circulation. But the next one could be in your hands. The D mint mark, right of Washington's ponytail at a slight doubling on the date, 1996. The coin should appear almost shifted or ghosted on one side. Now, don't grab a magnifying glass and interrogate every quarter like Sherlock Holmes with caffeine, although, to be fair, that's not a bad idea. Coins with this level of error are rare because they shouldn't exist. They slipped through the US Mint's quality control, and now, collectors are in a bidding frenzy for them. With only a few confirmed in top condition, the price continues to climb. One recent private auction closed at $835,000, shocking even veteran collectors. But here's the twist. Most people who find these coins have no idea what they're worth, and they give them away for nothing. You don't need to be a numismatist or historian to recognize value. You just need to know where to look and act before it's too late. Imagine finding that rare quarter and selling it for a fortune that funds your dream life: debt-free living, a new house, early retirement. Now imagine realizing you gave it away. After watching this video, check your coin jars, your glove box, that old coin stash in the attic. Time is critical because as word spreads, the market will change and competition will spike. Hey, maybe pause this video right now and dig through your change. I'll wait, or better yet, watch to the end so you know exactly what to look for. If you think you have the 1996 D error quarter, don't clean it, store it safely. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Then, consult a coin auction house or high-end collector group, because that tiny coin could be your first step toward the life you've always wanted. And it all starts with a little curiosity. And a quarter. Subscribe for more stories that could change your life. Share this video with someone who hoards change. You might just make them a millionaire. And if you're serious about selling valuable coins for top dollar, check out our free checklist in the description below. You're closer to wealth than you think. The next millionaire coin might be in your pocket.